Mr. Chair and members, Rand Martin on behalf of the California Charter Schools Association. If I was going to seek a way to eliminate charter schools in California without simply going to the California Charter Schools Act and repealing it, I might choose an approach like AB 787. And that may sound like hyperbole, but let me explain why that is not hyperbolic. Talking about 1,184 charter schools in the state of California, who in one fell swoop, when 787 is adopted, if it's adopted, would be required to have their boards of directors appointed by their school district authorizer. We understand the law is written to create in the petition process an opportunity for the charter school to nominate the members of the board, and that the school district would then select from that list. But let's be honest with each other. There is a lot of negotiation that occurs in the petition process. There are things that school districts put forward to the charter school that basically say, if you want us to approve your petition, we want you to do these things. There are school districts, I guarantee today, that if this was the law, would say, if you give us 10 names or 20 names that we agree with, then we'll approve your petition. But if you don't, then it'll be rejected. Those things are happening today on other petition elements and would happen, I'm sure, in some cases, not all, but in some cases would happen with this new petition element. So it's very troubling to us that the autonomy and the independence that characterizes the charter school movement in California could be effectively wiped out by this bill. The proponents and the author have suggested there are substantive reasons why this bill needs to be enacted. I heard the representative from the California Labor Federation, which I appreciated, talking about a lot of great charters and also talking about some bad actors. We know that's the case as well. But in advocating for this bill, what they have not done is say why the board composition problem is the problem and why it needs to be fixed. They raise the issue of CAVA. So CAVA is a single charter school, or 11, depending on your perspective, out of 1,184 that is having a dispute over the question of organizing its teachers. A question that is currently before PIRB. PIRB has not acted yet. They have had hearings, but decisions are expected in the next few weeks. We don't anticipate that those decisions have anything to do with this bill, nor do we suspect that PIRB is going to undermine the very explicit law that currently says the Education Employment Rights Act applies to all charter school employees. So rather than suggesting that PIRB is going to create a crisis, why don't we wait and see what PIRB says? And if there is a problem, let's all sit down and figure out what that appropriate solution is. They've also raised the specter of the National Labor Relations Board. There is an opinion issued by NLRB for California charter school teachers that dates back to 2006 and is still the opinion in California that California charter school employees are governed by EERA. They are not governed by NLRB. They will point to a Chicago case in which NLRB found differently. That case was vacated by the U.S. Supreme Court. It was dismissed by NLRB and has never been refiled. It's never been resubmitted. That case no longer exists. It technically does not exist. So pointing to that case and claiming that that's the reason why NLRB is poised to jump into California and make all charter schools private makes absolutely no sense. And last argument that's been raised, not so much at this table today, but certainly in the analysis, is the reason why AB 1531 was introduced last year. And that was to deal with a crisis between IRS and PERS. I don't want to get into the details because that issue was resolved, and resolved in favor of charter schools and their teachers. And PERS is already working, in the 2 months since that decision was handed down, working to make sure that all charter schools that apply to be in PERS will be allowed to be in PERS. And those that were denied, 9 or 10 from last year, will be back in. We are very comfortable with the IRS decision. The IRS is very comfortable with it, and PERS is very comfortable with it and has communicated that explicitly to this committee. So there are 3 reasons given, none of which have any foundation in terms of crisis or urgency that needs to be handled by this bill. And I would simply point out 2 things finally. One is that changing the board structure has absolutely nothing to do with ERA, it has nothing to do with CAVA, it has nothing to do with NLRB, and it has nothing to do with PERS. It has a lot to do with the independence and the autonomy of charter schools and what makes charter schools unique. And yeah, we can have boards appointed by the school district, but at that point they might as well just become district schools, which is what some charter schools are. They are still governed by the board. I also want to just say with some sympathy to the teachers who testified that, I mean, we hear problems like that, and you're not the only school that has problems like that. But the big question is, where's the school district authorizer in that case? Why is the school district not stepping in and saying, why are you not hiring clerical staff? Why are you not doing the things that are necessary and the things that you said in your petition that you were going to do? That's the responsibility of the school district to do, and not the responsibility of a law change like this in order to accomplish that. So for those reasons, I would ask for your opposition to this bill. I do have some things that we're going to have some folks just do Me Too's, but they do have written testimony. If I could ask the chair's indulgence to ask the sergeant to distribute these, so you can.
You have other witnesses there, right here. Yeah, go ahead.
We got some Me Too's as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. If the individuals up here could please give their testimony.
Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Jacqueline Elliott, and I'm the co-founder of Partnerships to Uplift Communities, a network of 14 high-achieving public charter schools in Northeast Los Angeles and the Northeast San Fernando Valley, founded in 1999 and also known as Puck Schools. I'm here today to urge you to vote no on AB 787. Puck Schools' student population is 97% students of color, predominantly Latino, and 86% Title I. Over 90% of Puck's high school students graduate from high school, and 70% are admitted to four-year universities. We serve approximately 5,000 students. I started my career in education working for the Los Angeles Unified School District in 1986 in Pacoima. I was greatly dismayed by how difficult it was for me to meet the needs of my students within the traditional school system, and so I founded a charter public school in 1999 for students in that same community that could operate with flexibility, be truly representative of the community, and 100% student-centered. AB 787 should not move forward because the bill is in direct contradiction to the essential independence of charter schools and a drastic reversal of the stated intent of the Charter Schools Act, which is to provide opportunities for teachers, parents, pupils, and community members to establish and maintain schools that operate independently from the existing school district structure. This bill would compromise the autonomy and independence of charter schools by putting charter school board membership decisions under the control of the school board that authorized it. Under AB 787, a charter school would not be operated by a board of directors that reflects the best interests of the charter school. It would be operated by a governing body that would reflect the interests of the school district's central governing board. This structure would compromise the central mission of the charter school and likely distract and take away from the significant academic gains. What?
Please sum up.
So I urge you to not ignore the original intent of the California Charter Schools Act and vote no on AB.
Thank you, sir. If you could proceed. Please be succinct.
Yes. Brian Shea Jones on behalf of K-12 and the CAVA schools. We refute all the testimony that was made today. We understand that's the same testimony that's made at the State Board of Education, the ACCS, and every time a charter school bill comes up here. My colleague Rand Martin is correct. The union issue is before PERB. That will play itself out one way or the other. We've complied with all California law throughout that entire process. Additionally, remember, these are non-classroom based charter schools, and we have to comply with the SB 740 funding determinations that the California Department of Education has. We get 100% funding every year. They look at your school, they look at how you're funded, what percentage you spend on instructional materials and things like that, and what you spend on certificated salaries. So with that, we'd urge a no vote.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wish to speak in support? You may state your name, your position, and your name, affiliation, and position.
My name is Chris Lee. I'm a teacher at Palisades Charter High School, where I've been teaching for the last 16 years. I'm also a UTLA unionized member, as our school is. I urge you to vote strongly against Assembly Bill 787.
Sir, that's it. So you stated your name,
Okay.
your affiliation, your position. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the others may come forward as well.
Ernie Silva with Sciatech Dropout Recovery Public High School, and we oppose the provisions related to board appointment.
Norman Hernandez, Director of Soloria College Preparatory Charter School, and we strongly urge you to oppose this bill. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members, Brendan Tuig on behalf of Ed Voice in opposition.
Jason Sample, Gateway Community Charters, and we're here in opposition of this bill.
Tracy Eichmeyer. I am a parent of a child at Golden Valley Charter Schools of Sacramento, a non-for-profit charter school. Thank you.
Hi, Jody Graff, Visions and Education Charter School. I encourage opposition.
Paul Kiefer, Pacific Charter Institute, 4 schools, 4 different board members, 4 different elected boards. This will be hard to implement, knowing that you have a corporate law that's going to get in the way of implementing this process. And I urge you to vote no on this.
I'm Athena Ross Allen, a parent of 2 students at Golden Valley Charter Schools for 7 years, one of the 1,177 not-for-profit charter schools.
Just your name, affiliation, and position, please.
I'm against the bill strongly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Joanna Hola, parent at Golden Valley Charter School, and I'm in opposition to the bill. Thank you.
I'm Dawn Peterson. I'm a parent with Lighthouse Charter School in West Sacramento, and I am in opposition to this bill.
Hi, my name is Sandra McCann, a parent at Golden Valley Charter School of Sacramento, and I am in opposition of this bill.
Leon Carson, a parent at NP3 Charter School in Sacramento, and I'm in opposition to the bill.
Thank you. Are there any committee members that wish to comment? Seeing none, do we have a motion? Moved. Do we have a second? It's been seconded by Mr. Santiago. The motion is do pass as amended to the Appropriations Committee. Mr. Hernandez, you may close.
Mr. Chair and members, thank you for listening to all the important opinions brought forth today. A challenge has arisen in our California schools. While there is a general understanding that public education dollars directed to school districts cannot be used to make a profit, CAVA's primary vendor and manager is K-12 Inc., a for-profit corporation based out of state, a clear violation of California's ethics regarding public schools. Moreover, it is worth noting that in 2011-2012, K-12 Inc. paid almost $11 million to its top 6 executives. AB 787 will substantially improve the public accountability of charter schools and their governing boards. Charter school teachers serve California students every day and struggle to keep money in the classroom with kids. They seek to advocate for their students and have a voice in their working conditions. Charter school governance must be representative and transparent. I quickly want to touch on the comment that was talked about a little bit here about charter school independence, charter school autonomy. The reference to education code was to structure of the typical public school, but they don't have autonomy to accountability with regard to the use of Prop 98 funds. As California lawmakers, we have an inherent obligation to ensure that there are systems in place to make sure that we know where every dollar goes and that the primary focal point of those dollars appropriation is student-centered. As a former school member, I know firsthand the importance of our teachers and the future of our students. And as elected officials, I know we take great pride in ensuring that every taxpayer dollar is received by our schools and is dedicated to the children in the classroom. That's why I'm very proud to carry Assembly Bill AB 787 this year, and I respectfully ask for your vote.